Here they are. Let's tie these up. These are some of the prettiest jigs I think I've ever done, and they are so simple. Don't be afraid of these. They are easy, I promise. You'll see when I start tying this up. Okay, so we got that hatchet head in the vise. 1/8 ounce hatchet head with the number 4, just plain old J hook. I'm trying to get away from using as many sickle hooks as I do. Get a lot of feedback, a lot of negative comments on the sickle hook. So to accommodate my customers and what people are actually looking for, I'm going to start going back to tying at least as many J hooks as I do sickle hooks. But we got the 210 denier wrapped all the way. Well, we're just going to go about a 1/4 inch past the head on the shank of the hook. We're not going to go all the way to the hook point on this one. We're going to do the tapered neck. We're going to tie it up like that. We got the Sally Hansen's on. We got the 210 denier brushed on just as a little bit of a binder for that thread against the shank of that hook. Something to give that thread something to bite onto. And of course, that Sally Hansen's don't dry super quick. So as you're tying on your feathers, you're also getting a little bit of that Sally Hansen's pushing up through the thread and getting into those feathers a little bit too. So you're getting more of a glue layer than what you actually think you would be getting. But if you pay real close attention when you're wrapping that jig, you'll see that liquid coming through those threads and onto those feathers and a little bit into the next layer until slowly it's absorbed as much as what it could, and then the UV resin is going to take over the rest of it and help cure it up really nicely. We're doing it feathers in increments of 2, a chartreuse one, a white one, a chartreuse one, a white one, a chartreuse one, and a white one. Right now we've got 4 feathers on, 2 being chartreuse, 2 being white. Started out on the bottom of the hook and then went to one side of the hook and then to the other side of the hook. So right now we got a total of 6 feathers tied onto this jig head. It's pretty amazing what type of jig you can tie with such little material. You know, the hatchet head, just totally amazing the paint jobs you can put on these hatchet heads. It's not something that is special just to me. It's an easy process to do that. We've got all of our feathers tied on. We're starting with the taper. We're going to finish up the tapered neck, building it up, letting it taper back down real slightly, building it back up a little bit higher there at the head. You can see I wrap a little bit more. We got this flash in. It's called bluegill flash. It's a new old stock material that I got from a friend of mine to give me a whole box of material. It's in there. It's kind of totally contrasting to everything else. There's red, blues, greens, grays, silvers. You name it, it's all in there. Every color you can think of is in that flash. And then when you turn it, it kind of picks up some of the colors that are in your crappie jig. So this kind of flash goes a long way on accenting the colors that are in this jig. These jigs were on my Facebook page for auction. Getting a pretty good response on the hatchet head jig, so you might want to pay attention to my Facebook page. We'll start getting some more of those up and going on auctions. I'll be dropping some on YouTube for sale sometimes also. Just kind of keep an eye out for them. If there's a real high demand in them, I'll start doing a lot more of those. But there it is, guys. Tell me what you think about this hatchet head. Does your paint jobs come out like this? If not, let me know, and I'll see if I can help you get that straightened out. We got another one going in that's a 1/16 of an ounce. Went with an 1/8 ounce one and a 1/16 ounce one. I did in the giveaway 3 1/8 ounce, 3 1/16 ounce. I know there's a mix there between people that like to use 1/16 ounce heads and people that like to use 1/8 ounce heads. I use them both. An 1/8 ounce I'll use if the conditions are there for it. If it's a little bit breezier, if my boat's moving, if I'm in a little bit of current, if the water's completely still and it's dead calm and I've got real good control on that jig head with my 10 to 12 foot outlaw crappie rod, I'll go down to a 1/16 of an ounce. When I can't feel that jig head on my rod anymore, I'll switch up and go to an 1/8 ounce. and sometimes even bigger than an 1/8 ounce. It just kind of depends. If the fish are biting and it don't matter, I'm going to be using an 1/8 ounce. I want that head to get back down to that school of fish as fast as I can. That's my reasoning behind changing jig head sizes. Mainly, it's usually got very little to do with the fish bite. It got more to do with the conditions that I'm fishing. Let me know what dictates you changing sizes of your jig heads while you're fishing. I hear a lot of people are saying, well, there's a real finicky bite, so I downsize my jig, which I've done that also a lot in the past too. But to me, it's got more to do with I want contact with that jig head at all times. I don't want there to be slack in the line if I can avoid it. If I can get away with using an 1/8 ounce jig head, I will always use an 1/8 ounce jig head. To me, I have better luck with that. These are simple jigs with little material. Very easy to tie when you're doing your own jig heads and your own crappie baits. It's endless what you can come up with. Use your imagination, think outside the box, and things will come to you. And like I said, let me know about that paint job. Is that something that you're struggling with to try to get those colors to come out right? If I can get the demand for it, I'll start doing more videos on just painting. But I get a lot of people that don't really like a whole lot to watch the painting videos. They're a little bit boring, and I tend to agree with them on that. The time's where it's at, but it actually all starts right there at the powder coat station. That's where I decide for sure what I'm going to do with the jig is when I get done painting it, what colors are going to go into it. Guys, thank you for watching this video. There it is. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about it. It's December 30th. It's early in the morning. The sun's not even up yet. I'm debating on whether or not getting some warm clothes on, hooking this boat up, and getting it out on the lake. I love fishing for the wintertime crappie. And this is a jig that I auctioned off all 6 of them. I don't even have one for my own box, or it would probably be tied onto a rod starting out this morning. Like I said, thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you so much for watching. Hit that like button, subscribe, hit that little bell. It'll notify you. Be watching for tips and things coming up here real soon on my YouTube channel. There it is, 16th ounce, 1/8 ounce hatchet heads, crappie killers.